Right, let's click some buttons. Let's do that. So hopefully the audio won't be too abrasive. Click on that button. Hopefully my face isn't too abrasive. Hello, my voice. I've got flu. Had it since the bar citizen I went to. Some filthy Star Citizen backer got me ill by being in my presence. How dare they? My entourage in the future will check everyone to make sure they are clean. But I've been doing some house hunting. I'm terrified financially at the moment because I have had an offer accepted on a house. So hopefully that will go through. I'm now into full savings mode, making sure I'm sensible. Oh, I Ubered a pudding yesterday. That's probably not the most sensible thing, but I'm going to be saving, scrimping, just in case, because a big chunk of my money getting a house and a mortgage and everything. Hopefully the mortgage will be accepted. It's all in process at the moment. I am so with me being mega tired and ill and just coming back from holiday and then sorting that out. It's all go. I'm pretty exhausted. Next Friday, Zin and I are celebrating our birthdays. We're off on holiday for a week. We go up to an Airbnb basically that we found that's really nice up north with a load of our other mates, and it's Zin's 40th birthday, so we refer to it as birthday LAN. We're going to be playing board games and lots of LAN games and couch co-op games and lots of random stuff. And eating delicious food is the idea. That's the focus. And there's quite a lot of us going. I think there's 10 of us this time. Normally they're more around sort of like between 6 and 8. It's a lot of people coming to this one. It's also my birthday at the same time, but I'm only 39, so I don't get the birthday treatment. Yeah, looking forward to that. Might be a bit of disruption on the channel. I am going to be taking my laptop and one of my microphones with me, my sort of travel mic, which you might have heard on Monday me use, but it was in an echoey room. It's a ghetto setup. It allows me to talk about Star Citizen, and Zin might pop in and say hello while I'm recording, but she is literally on holiday for 2 weeks. She's got 2 weeks off starting next Friday. And I'm sort of glad now that 3.23 looks like, well, it's planned to be an April release rather than a March release, because if it was a March release, it's going to like coincide with me having a holiday. When I get back from holiday, there is then a board game conference which I go to, which is near my house typically. I'm just going to sort of have an extended holiday. That's what we're doing. I'll be doing videos, but they might be a bit, even lower effort than normal, if that was possible. But yes, if anyone's got any questions, feel free to chuck them in the chat. We'll be talking about some Star Citizen stuff, because obviously there's cool stuff happening later on today. They're going to be Evocati testing the jump points and server meshing and pyro to stand and travel, and just people using those systems on the same shard with using the replication layer. Oh, exciting. Giant step for Star Citizen. I expect it to be not as buggy as the 3.23 stability tests, but I have some bugs and problems with it. It's just sort of what happens. Evocati builds, that's exactly what they're like. And if anyone tells you like, oh, this is an indication it's going to be like 3.18 or it's going to be terrible for the players, it's not at all. Like, Evocati tests, typically the most insane, the insanitiest of sanity tests. So sort of bear that in mind. In my absence, chat, I heard from the science himself that hitting the thumbs up button will increase IQ and member size. It's true because science. Thanks, Sparrow. You are a beautiful boy. Thank you very much for my mods being here as well. I never tell my mods when I'm streaming. I just sort of do it. You're beautiful people. Samiyeti, you are the most beautiful person. You need to remember that. What else have we got here? Thank you very much for the kind words. And if you want to ask a question, just question in brackets, sort of go ahead. Anyone else been having crashes lately with the latest update? Are you talking about with 3.22.1? I did have one, actually. So it is less stable than 3.22 from my point of view. I did have a crash. I don't think I've had a crash in 3.22. If you're talking about anything that was to do with PTU or Evo builds, yes, lots. It's great to meet you at the bar, citizen. I see that beautiful face. Thank you very much, Kivsky. Hope you're doing well, sir. It's just a shame that I got ill. Yeah, but getting better. Still blocked up. A bit annoying. I really enjoyed the bar, citizen. It's genuinely great to see people. And it was good to sort of like to be able to tack that on to then go after Leeds, see one of my mates, and I played the Witcher board game. It was pretty good. It's quite short, I find it. It was quite good fun. Sort of get house hunting and stuff like that in there as well. 3.20 about to start feeling like a game. Can't wait. Yeah, so when they go a bit beyond the stability tests and actually add features, great. And the features they've got for 3.23 are sort of game making. That they are polished, significantly more polished than we've ever had feature-wise in Star Citizen. It's because they're bringing over the Squadron 42 ones, from FPS stuff to loading new missions and better persistence with persistent hangars. Lots of stuff there. Loads of cargo improvements. Just a huge amount of gameplay. And interaction system. It's a huge amount of FPS interaction and sort of polish. Really looking forward to it. Since they sold me the Polaris, they invented and sold and made another 100 other ships, while I paid $750. Not even the roadmap. Polaris is planned for later this year. Might not be appearing on the sort of paper roadmap, but it is planned for later this year. You just look at the monthly reports. Talks about the Polaris. Talks a load about the Polaris. Is it, even when you get the Polaris, is it worth $750? Probably not, because it's $750 for a spaceship that you can buy in game. However, look, I'm not disparaging anyone that wants to spend any of their disposable income on spaceships. I spent lots of money on spaceships, probably approaching $4,000 on spaceships. Two upcoming. You have to bear with me when I can't speak properly. Two upcoming variants progressed through the pipeline. One continued its LOD pass, the other passing the LOD gate review. Do you think this refers to the Apollo Medivac and Triage? Possibly. I mean, it could be referring to so much stuff, right? That's the problem. It is possible. It is possible. And we obviously know that they are pushing a load of RSI ships at the moment as well. So, yeah, they're working on a ton of ships. A lot of them, they are not telling us what they are, and they're not announcing them, and they are unannounced or yet to be announced ships. But we obviously know that Clan Imperium are working on at least those 10 that they showed at CitizenCon for later this year, including the Polaris. After you go through the jump point in Evo, if it's successful and you make it through to the other side, how do you expect to feel in that moment? So, it'd be pretty good to know that server meshing is working to a degree. It's not going to have the same wow factor as if it was already and functional and had all the gameplay mechanics to it, and then I went through. The problem with doing it in Evo is that it's going to lose its luster for me by the time it is already in beautiful. It's one of the problems with Star Citizen and Alpha and Evo karty builds and stuff like that. You do lose a little bit of the wow factor. It's still going to be amazing. It's still going to have a lot of like, oh, awesome. I mean, being able to do that, being able to actually say, look, server meshing is working. It's static server meshing. We have just 2 or 3 servers all connected, and you're able to move between Stanton to Pyro, Pyro to Stanton, and even if it is just a static jump with some effect, or even if it's just a static jump, being able to move between those places and with the jump point and no gameplay there, very little in the way of visual effects, I'm still going to be happy that the sort of underlying tech is working. It's just so important, right? I'm sorry to suck some of the joy out of that by not going, oh my god, it's going to be game defining, game break, just like the most defining moment of my Star Citizen sort of career, or whatever. I mean, maybe it would if it had all of it there, and it was like I jumped through and it was like beautiful. But it's not going to be that. It's an Eva Carty test. I think a lot of people need to sort of be aware that those Evo tests, they're very, they don't necessarily have the features that you want. They are very much sort of, often they can just be, is this working at all? Is the tech working? Cool. Which is super important. Yeah, that's a good point. Can I just keep on? I mean, as long as it'll be based on Eva Cardi instruction, what they want us to do in the build. It might be like play in Stanton for a bit, get some cargo, go through the jump point, deliver cargo, come back through the jump point. Or it might be like, yeah, just feel free to keep on going back, forth, back, forth, back, forth. So whatever they say, they want us to try. I'm really looking forward to it. Black and blue screens of death in 3.22. I was pretty okay. I did infinite loading a couple of times. Happy birthday to people that it's their birthday. Any news on the holiday? No new news on the holiday. No. Unfortunately not. Obviously, theoretically, holiday, that they can get them in game and make them work. They're obviously going to expand out cargo and tweak the way that entities work so that they can have those huge amounts of cargo in a way that doesn't cause distress to players near them or the servers. But all of the tech for them's pretty much working, right? Why is the Polaris not even on the roadmap anymore? Are they jerking me around? No. It's going to be coming later this year is the plan. You should see an update to the progress tracker in the not too distant future, which will show it. So the progress tracker, they're not abandoning that. Whatever. There's been a load of planning and there's been a load of focus on Squadron 42 features and 3.23 and sort of plans for what's happening for Citizen Con later in the year in 4.0. But you will see the progress tracker updated and it will show that at some point. It didn't give you your manual in the end, so she's got it still. It's still in her bag. So I literally asked about it the other day. Yeah, thank you so much for those technical manuals. Oh my god, they're so good. They are so good. So basically, the technical manuals that have been made that they're very very talented, very skilled. They're basically like a description, technical descriptions of how to do maintenance and repair on your ship, and it's just it shows where all the sort of for the Fury, all the different access points are, and how to remove the cooler, put the cooler back. Shows figs, shows describes. It's just amazing. It was like this, like wow, the detail here is so awesome. People were watching me reading it as well because I kept on going back and forth between the same page, reading all the stuff and putting it together with the fig. But why keep on looking back at the same page? Because I'm trying to actually understand it from an actual real life point of view. Any insight on why FPS wear and tear and misfire wasn't part of what seemed to be an FPS focused 3.23 inside Star Citizen yesterday? I think it's because the full wear and tear and misfire systems aren't present and working in 3.23 yet, and they said they were going to be talking about them later. They're coming later, so them expanding those out. But obviously, there's quite a lot of FPS gameplay and updates coming to 3.23, including the reloading and ammo pooling, new UI updates, all that sort of jazz, and scopes, along with interaction and updates like that as well. I'm interested to know, are the AI updates and behavior updates also part of this? I think they are. I think they're part of 3.23. Thank you for your kind words. If people want to check that, so you've actually just put the technical manual up on Spectrum under the art section, sort by top, and it's near the top somewhere. Cool. Can you post me that later as well if you remember? Don't worry, I'll do it if you don't, because I'll chuck it up on Twitter and give it some retweets and stuff as well. Like that sort of stuff, I'd love for people to see more because it is genuinely impressive, especially when you realise that it's how detailed it is and accurate. Are they planning on trying more than one server per star system anytime soon? Per star system, I don't know. So static server meshing should be like, I'm expecting 4 to 5 servers per star system when they actually get it implemented properly for static. So after these tests that they're doing today with basically 1 server per system, I mean, the next step's really to have multiple servers per system, right? So soon, probably. You still enjoy Ivacati testing after all these years? So it's not really about enjoyment. It feels like a privilege to do, but it is a bit of a chore. It gives me deeper insight and knowledge into Star Citizen and the direction it's going. So that I want it from the sort of type of content creator I am. It's very cool. I wouldn't say I necessarily enjoy it. I like doing it. Can be stressful and a chore sometimes. I like seeing what's sort of at the bleeding edge of new testing as well. Enjoy is just a strong word for... It's a bit like a job, sort of, but a job you enjoy. Pardon me, I'm going to do and blow my nose and be disgusting. Now, some of you are asking, why didn't I mute? Because I could have muted. You could have muted. I'm going to take anti-flu thing. I've got earache now. That's great. I'm okay. I'm feeling much better than I was. I had an awful cough the other day and was like out of breath from getting up the stairs. But now a million times better. Throat still sounds pretty bad. No, I absolutely love those technical manuals. I think you're very talented for doing them. Potentially dumb question. You can ask as many dumb questions as you want. Absolutely fine. Like, can we CC to capital ships like the Idris or even Javelin? Typically, no. You might be able to if you ask customer services, but they typically don't produce CCUs for capital ships like that. For limited hull ships and wave-based ships, typically no. Might change it in the future. Are jump points online in Evo now? Not as far as I'm aware, but I haven't checked. I believe it's coming online later today. So there's like a million things I'm doing at the moment. Obviously, stuff with House. Lots of stuff to go through, like monthly report, news, Squadron 42 update. Those tests for 3.23 stability. Sort of, they're going to be expanding out features pretty soon, and for server meshing, that sort of stuff. But also, I run a 3D printing business, which I've just sort of started, and giant dragons for the license. I own a license to Crab Miniatures, who make that sort of like similar. They're Egyptian skeletons, very similar, but certainly distinct from Tomb Kings from Warhammer. But he's just about to release the STL faster merchants for giant sort of crocodile dragons and a load of big models. So I've got a Jupiter, Elegoo Jupiter, that I just unboxed today, which I've had for like 2 weeks. And I need to get that all set up and ready to print those. I also run a collectibles company as well and sell board games and stuff. I'm sort of on the back foot at the moment. And then I'm sort of encouraging Zin's getting some lore videos done, because obviously she's away for 2 weeks, so she wants to get 2 or 3 lore videos done for that time, and that helps me out as well. So yeah, pretty busy at the moment. Hopefully I'll be able to get involved to a reasonable level in the Evocati tests. Do you think CIG is going to create multiple platforms for 2 to 3 person gameplay loops within the same manufacturer, like a second Drake design other than the Cutlass or a second MISC? So expect more ships, more manufacturers, and more ships within the same manufacturers, and for that to range between a huge amount of gameplay for lots of different sizes of group, and going in the future beyond a version 1 release, they will probably have some flavor variants that are very similar to other ships, even within the same manufacturer. Because why not? Why not producing more ships, right? Is it a full wipe for 3.23? We don't know yet. However, they put some tech into 3.22.1, making it so that stuff would carry over more consistently and easily between patches. So it looks like they are prepping the way for there not to be a wipe, probably no wipe, and for that stuff to be carried over more easily and without as many problems and errors. Would it be reasonable to expect a P2 release of 3.23 by the end of March? That is what I'm expecting. At least a Wave 1 PTU release by the end of March for 3.23. Yes, that is my expectation. Probably earlier, but there's a lot of features in 3.23. It depends on how much testing Evocati can do. Remember that they're inviting more Evocatis today as well, more prospective Evocati. So I don't know how much they're expanding it by. But at some point they'll go, right, this is stable enough for Wave 1 testing. Sometimes I like to have Wave 1 testing for a long time. .23.1 for Invictus then. Fleet Week. Yeah. That sort of thing. That makes sense, right? Big Fleet Week this year. Future Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, and CIG saying that CitizenCon, which is in Manchester this year on the 19th and 20th of October, is going to be the biggest CitizenCon yet. I think there is a little minor event or limited availability event on the 18th. Which would be exciting as well. Very much looking forward to CitizenCon. I'm expecting Squadron 42 release dates to be announced. I suspect big name actors will also be turning up, would be my expectation as well. What else have we got here? Did I miss the bastards and questions and answers? Not yet. I haven't gone through them all yet. There's a reason. So deciphering my shorthand while slightly inebriated is confusing. Although fortunately Zin was also there for a lot of it. I'm able to go, oh yeah, cool. We talked to that guy. Cool, yeah. Yeah, so we'll be making a video on the sort of stuff we learnt from the Bar Citizen. Sandworms, when apparently, according to Elliot, they're in game right now. They're just underground, and they haven't got the tech for them to breach and come out of the ground yet. Yeah? Perfect. He was taking the piss when he told me that, though. I think Evo's like punishment. Evo here. Yes, yep, you must. Obviously, a lot of the Evos absolutely fantastic and love what they do. And very good at it. You know what had impressive server machine tech? Dual Universe. So I backed that ages ago. I need to look at that more. What else have we got? And what time will the Evo test be? Don't know. Don't know. There's often not a precise time. They just sort of drop it when they want to. Underwater diving when, swimming when. So swimming should be in game properly in the not too distant future, like probably later this year. Diving and an expanded swimming and exploration, don't know. Will there be a wipe 3.23? All signs, including the sort of tech that CIG said was in 3.22.1, point to probably no wipe. Probably, but we don't know. CIG will wipe if they need to. I love the fact that Evocati can talk about the Evocati patch notes and their experiences in Evocati now. Amazing. They just can't share visuals and in-game audio and stuff like that. Bear with me 1 second. I'm so sorry. Mute yourself. Like the reverse of those. Maybe that's a really good Foley sound. Actually, it'll be like, oh, that's actually sounds like a Vandal singing a song. Yeah, so I forgot about Dual Universe as well, but I do need to check it out again. Like I say again, I looked at it when it was being developed and haven't played it since it's sort of been probably playable. Do you think 3.23 will come in April or May? Oh, so it's planned for April. It's hard to tell at the moment. When should we expect to see the Endeavour for those that's waiting? I think it's going to be one of the last ships done. Like, science is quite an expansive, complicated set of mechanics. The Endeavour does a lot of them, and then a load of like bespoke, specific ones. And it doesn't really help many of the other ships getting the Endeavour done. Although, effectively, the Endeavour itself is a lot of ships. Have you and Zin ever considered in-game podcast reporting events, face capture, anything like that? So we will be doing a lot more stuff in-game, and in-game casting to a degree is probably something we will do. We'll see where the game takes us. I'm pretty open to all that sort of jazz. Now that CIG has mentioned version 1, in what opinion is its release time frame? Within 3 years for version 1? I think we're going to be sort of like next year, quite genuinely close to something akin to a beta. And then I think they'll be able to get something out that's akin to a version 1 within about 3 years. Quite genuinely. I might be vastly off. That's what it looks like, right? Cave building, is that possible in the future? Did they comment on this? I don't know. I think they talked about it ages ago and said, oh, maybe. They have not shown or talked about anything about cave building recently. But obviously they use Rastar, and there are some level of structure in caves kind of already, so it is possible, right? Sucks being sick, indeed. Don't worry too much. It's okay. Rather be sick now than while on holiday, right? Extreme Terror, thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you, computer, for describing those emojis. Genuinely, thank you very much for the sub. That is appreciated. I like money. Anyone who wants to use the join button, anyone wants to give donations, anyone wants to use the Twitch sub button, genuinely appreciate it. Helps support the channel, especially when the cost of houses is so expensive. And the cost of Zin Appreciation Day. Oh, so it was Employee Appreciation Day. It's one of the reasons we went up to the bar citizen. It ticks in the day before as well. Her and her partner. Got them a hotel. got them a delicious meal. We went to see June Part 2. And we went to the Bar Citizen. It's good. We had lunch and after. Yeah. Had a great time. Had a great time. I appreciate all the kind words. Like, it's not necessarily it's a constant amount of like work. It's like persistent, as it were, but it doesn't necessarily feel particularly hard work. It's sort of catching up each day on something I'm really interested in, and then talking about it. So sometimes you do get that relatively repetitive thing when the hot topic is something we've been talking about for a while, or it's just come back into the news again. Obviously, 3.23 is going to get discussed a load. If they add a load more features to it, and there's some stuff in the patch watch, then I'll probably do again at some point, just before it goes live, another feature list of what's in 3.23, as long as there's enough sort of features that expand into it. Yeah, I love talking about Star Citizen. I love the fact that we've got a cool community that wants to chat about it as well. I'm a Farius, 30k. Thank you very much for the $4. I appreciate that. And I appreciate your Legion as well. Much more of a Death Guard fan myself. You want to be sneaky Alpharius and Alpha Legion, you go ahead. Genuinely appreciate it, sir. Thank you. Wouldn't it be funny if they released 3.23 on April 1st? I'm not sure if it would be funny. I always worry about April Fool's stuff because and Triggerfish stuff, because I'm worried that if I say something as a joke, someone will take it seriously. Have they considered redoing parts of the cities so that players who don't want to fly ships could have fun in cities? So they're doing building interiors for cities, and they are expanding out some of the landing zones and adding new sort of varied landing zones around and distribution centers and stuff like that. So they are expanding a lot of that content out. I've discovered that showers work, but only when the ship is almost done for. Yes, when they're showing a damaged state, they work, right? Do you think they will drop engineering tier 0 before we see the Polaris or with it? Yes. So engineering tier 0 is going to be engineering in experimental mode testing in Arena Commander in 3 types of experimental mode test is going to be part of 3.23. So you'll be able to test that pretty soon. But I suppose you're talking about an actual tangible in Persistent Universe tier 0/tier 1 implementation. That could be in 4.0. I think that would be before the Polaris. Yeah. Unfortunately, a lot of games like that, even though they're fantastic, they sort of die, or they might die for you, which is the more important thing, right? Any guesses to what the surprises that Jared mentioned for 3.03 might be? Well, new ships and vehicles. They haven't talked about exactly what we're getting for that. There's going to be a load of minor updates that are going to have big changes. They could do stuff with bounty hunting. They could do loads more cargo and cargo hauling missions. There could be big changes with Xeno Threat. There's a load of stuff that could be in there. Please tell us. Please tell me we want Space Marine armor. So, okay, would you prefer Space Marine sort of power armor, or Iron Man style armor, or mechs? Now, obviously, you've got the sort of hybrid power armor, Iron Man armor with what they want with Titan suits. Yeah. I also want mechs. I want it all. Give me a power loader. Thanks for the content. I hope to say hello and the next CitizenCon. Yes, Shotacus. So hopefully, I'll see a lot of people. Well, I'll see a lot of people at the CitizenCon. Fortunately, it's over at least 2 days. So I'll be going down on the 18th because I think it's just sensible to go down earlier. And I will make it my duty and privilege to go around and say hello to lots of people and try not to drink too much. It's going to be relatively good. Will the ship's power triangle be rendered obsolete with the new master modes? So power and capacitors are going to be a major part of the flight model and combat and mechanics. So bear that in mind. Will that mean that we get that properly in for master modes in 3.23? Master modes 3.23 are not going to be the final version. So bear that in mind. Might be stripped down. All ships might have proper tunings for master modes, things like that. So yeah, probably be. So I've done a video on the monthly report already, but I just haven't released it. I'm going to be doing Squadron 42 one over the weekend. I'm not sure what Zin's doing her lore on, but I know she's doing a load of lore videos at the moment. Roadmap updates. So I'm excited for the additional features coming to 3.23. They talked about like volumetric cloud updates. Cool. I like prettier stuff. But they also talked about image upscaling. So this is like DLSS. This is TSR and FSR. And that could mean significantly better frame rates and better looking Star Citizen. And it might also mean Vulkan sort of integration done in a much better way as well. But should mean better graphics options, more graphics options. And that's something that does excite me for 3.23. Quite genuinely. So I hope it excites some of you as well. There's a load of other features that might turn up for 3.23, and some stuff might get pushed because it is pretty feature laden now, that patch. Anything else I wanted to? Oh yeah, a lot of people are annoyed about sort of scope glinting and glare. So it's like sniper rifles when you aim down sights with them, they are much more easy to see and track at distance. It's one of the downsides of aim down sighting with the sniper is you are spottable. But that also happens at night at the moment. Lots of people are annoyed about that. I think it's fine for balance at the moment. I mean, sort this stuff out in the future when we have night vision or stuff like that as well. Changes stuff up a bit and they can have a more subtle implementation, right? Yes, I'm also excited for 3.23. Should be pretty awesome. So yeah, some people really like the idea of drop pods and stuff like that. I want to see how they handle escape pods. Oh, I hope CitizenCon tickets aren't too expensive this year. So I've got to buy them for Zin and a partner. Oh, do I actually have to buy them for a partner? I might. Oh no. Oh god. So expensive. Will we ever get capes like Helldivers? I'm expecting capes. Almost certainly getting capes, right? They'll put capes in. We want to have capes. Capes. I've not played Helldivers yet. Well, I played Helldivers. I haven't played Helldivers 2 yet. Playthrough of Sons of the Forest. We played it when it first came out in sort of super early access. Sort of loved Forest. Played Sons of the Forest. Absolutely loved it. Enjoyed it, even though it was sort of buggy and super early access, not tied together properly. So, yeah, we can. I'll record a video for your wife, Stefan, just saying, oh, the event's coming on a hunting trip with me, BoredGamer, who covers Star Citizen. It is awkward and a shame that it's on the same weekend as CitizenCon, but what's your NordVPN code? I think it's just BoredGamer. Oh yeah. Let's NordVPN / BoredGamer. Does that just work? I think that will just work. Yeah, it just works. NordVPN / BoredGamer. Do it. The code is just BoredGamer. See that? That's my name. If you type in type in this, you get NordVPN. like with discount, loads of other stuff going on, and I get money. Everyone's happy. Yeah, you've got all the stuff that Nord does, like so many things. Just too many. Planning your wedding, probably need NordVPN, and I get money. Thank you very much. I appreciate people asking that. It should be BoredVPN. Oh my god. Oh my god. You're in charge of marketing now for me. Yeah, I want capes. Stuart, you are a gem of a person. Thank you. You want a Gundam? Oh. Gundam's superior to mechs. They might be. I think mechs are cooler. Just a westernized Gundam, right? I'm a big fan of BattleTech, though. Mech Warrior, Mech Commander, and all that jazz. That whole shebang. Yeah. What are we talking about today? We're just talking about any odd stuff. Like I'm pretty excited for 3.23. Like I think it's got so feature laden, right? And they've obviously got the stability tests and stuff. But later on today, it's all about self-meshing tests and jump point tests. Within that, moving between Stanton and Pyro, and that is a giant leap for the game. It is such an important milestone, and they're hitting it now. And obviously, we wanted it significantly earlier, but it's getting there. Ask CIG for more bobbleheads. Oh god. I think you should be able to customize a bobblehead. I think you should be able to use the character creator to make a character and then have any character made into a bobblehead. Because then you can have bobbleheads of your friends and yourself in any armor, right? Just bam, bobblehead it. Will we ever get rugs as Hannah for that? Almost certainly, yeah. Yeah, why not? Anything you can think that would be a customizable piece of furniture or whatever is almost certainly going to be part of persistent hangers, because they'll want to use that for then also using in bases later. I don't think 3.23 will wipe. No, I don't. Because they talked about the tech in 3.22.1, literally going bam, it's more likely to bring stuff over without problem now with this tech. So less likely to be a wipe in 3.23. They'll wipe if they need to, though. That's the problem. We don't know for sure. Star sets and miniatures using my D&D games would be nice. I suspect some people have sculpted something similar, right? I'm still really looking forward to Titan Suits. Like, they haven't talked about Titan Suits for ages. But I'm glad they're talking about engineering and that gameplay. I'm looking forward to that in 3.23. Someone's texted me. Oh. Yeah, so I'm gonna have a big sale of all like board games that I don't play much, or I'm not planning on playing, or will never get used. I've got a big board game collection. Several hundred, and lots of them still sealed and like expensive Kickstarter purchases. But yeah. So same with my house. So I'm going to be sensible. I'm going to liquidate as much as I can. Yeah. But you do genuinely appreciate people being here and saying hello and asking questions. Bored, bar citizen interviews. Do you have a date on your questions and asked and answered video stuff? No. I've been because I've been ill and because there's lots of other stuff for me to do at the moment. I've been a bit bad with timing and some planning stuff. I'm supposed to go to my mate's birthday on Saturday, and as long as I don't feel terrible and I don't feel like I'm going to infect anyone, I'll go. So yes, I love a big range of board games. Obviously, the some are severely improved by miniatures and deluxification. Some are not, but lots are. time frame of board game sale. I mean, I'm going to start selling loads today. I mean, I'm going to go through potentially after the stream. I do also need to set up a Elegoo Jupiter printer and potentially start printing some dragons. So we'll see. Reloading for the backpack is nice. Does it work from Armor 2 or any backpacks? So it's both. So, I see what you mean. So you mean, does it work from all storage areas? So it works from your suit. So literally grabbing ammo off your suit. And it works with your backpack reloading. I assume that backpack reloading is referring to backpack and other storage. But I don't know for certain. But that's a good question. I think it's backpack and other storage. Where will your sale be? That's a good question. So I sell on eBay and on Facebook. I need to, because I run a board game company. I do need to actually have my own website at some point. Do you think the Polaris will be released by Invictus Fleet Week? No, because that's in May. I don't think so. It'll be on sale again then. Oh, Michael Wallers. I can't say your second name. Wallers? I'm dyslexic and terrible at reading, and just bad at life. Thank you so much. That's a huge donation. Thank you so much, sir. This is for tacos. Treat yourself to some tasty tacos. You know what? I will treat my mother and myself to tacos tonight. To Mexican. And it's genuinely appreciated. Thank you so much. That sort of stuff, especially. Okay, so there's the imposter syndrome from getting donations. Very much so with creators. Especially when I've been sort of creating on YouTube for so much, and I get effectively paid from YouTube ad revenue, right? And obviously people Patreoning and donating and subscribing and all those sort of stuff. Like the join, people using the join button, all super helpful, right? But it feels relatively passive. But donations, they feel like I don't deserve them at all. And all of it, I don't feel like I deserve it at all. But there's the sort of imposter syndrome you get with it. Like, why would someone want to donate their money? But I suppose it's the same way I'd donate money to a streamer that I like, or a cause that I like, or even buy a spaceship sometimes. But I think Star Citizen have done something right, and I sort of almost want to go, I will vote with my wallet. Or even buy a game that I don't necessarily would play that much, but I love what the studio's done with an indie game, and I go, you know what, I'll buy that and maybe gift it or whatever. Genuinely appreciated. But it always feels weird, like, why are you giving me money? I seriously don't deserve that. But genuinely appreciated, sir. Looking for HOTAS, any suggestions? Verbal Constellation Delta is my the best one I've ever used. Verbal make amazing stuff. Like, amazing. Overly engineered. Great feel. There might be some other great competitors now, and it's going to come down to a bit to personal preference, but I don't think you can go wrong with Verpal. I do think they're the sort of near top tier. You think we'll see the Gattac Raylan in 3.23? Oh. No. I don't think we're there yet with it. There's a lot of good stuff they could do with, because of the cargo updates, right? It's hard to know what CIG are doing vehicle-wise, what they've got planned for actual release in 3.23. Is it updates to current vehicles, like the Retaliator? Is it new vehicles that they haven't yet to announce? Is it ones that they showed but haven't announced properly at CitizenCon? We don't know. What's your favourite upcoming feature in 3.23? So, I think oddly at the moment, one of the things that's most exciting me is engineering experimental mode in Marine Commander. So it's not really a persistent universe feature at this stage. But, and there's a huge amount of other features all coming together, including all of that cargo stuff. Like, there's so much cargo hauling with the persistent and personal hangers. Customization to a degree on your personal hanger. It's all super exciting, right? That's a huge expansion to the gameplay of cargo, and ties cargo into the game a lot more and makes it just a much more fun gameplay loop for people that want to do it. I appreciate you, and I'm not interested in NordVPN. I appreciate your money, sir. Thank you. That's I can't give you money by NordVPN, so I'll just give it to you in cash. Oh, you star. Thank you so much, sir. What do we got here? Thanks for the answer. Literally, thanks for the question. The questions are the content for the live streams. As I want to encourage people to ask them. You do not need to pay. You do not need to subscribe or anything like that to get a question answered. You just need to ask them. I'll come to them eventually. Upscaling is pretty exciting for me on the road to you. So yeah, I mean it's in 3.23. I'm not sure how great that solution will be in 3.23, but I suspect it will be pretty good, right? And I suspect it's going to be tied in with Vulkan. So yeah, 3.23 is just this monumental patch now. And even if they get, even if you get 50% of the features, it'll be good. But even if they get 75% of them in, bam, super excited. What are your thoughts about the FPS weapon update? Did you try it out in Evo? And if not, outside looking. So I haven't tried any of the new weapon stuff in Evo yet. I didn't know it was actually available to try in Evo. I don't think it is, but it might be. As I said, I have not been super on it. I love what they've got for FPS interaction, FPS updates, all of the weapon changes, all of the weapon updates, reloading and ammo repooling. It's just such essential, necessary sort of updates. The just better, cleaner looking UI, quick looting. It's just all great, right? It's catapulting it into a modern FPS with polish and refinement rather than this jank. Previously janky, now a lot less janky with lots of bells and whistles that you go, it feels like a game that was made by people that wanted me to play the game rather than wanted me to see a game, which is a very different thing. So previously they wanted me to see a development. It just, yeah, oh, I'm so excited for this. I mean, it looks really boring there. But with fires and running around, and think if there's like a ship v ship fight where NPC ships are fighting each other, and all you're doing as a little group is repairing and engineering the ship. That's the only influence you have. That would be quite exciting to me. Did you see the 1590 video cards that are consumed 70% faster than a 4090? Yeah, but they're probably going to be 70% more expensive. I can't afford a 4090 or the 40 series as is. I'm happy with my 3080. Or someone donates a ridiculous amount of money. I'm happy with the 3080, and Zin and I will be upgrading at some point when it's necessary. I think something like, so you tried it, might be remembering it correctly. It might have been there, and then I just didn't notice it. Where are the other melee weapons? You will see more melee weapons. Obviously, the Vandal use staves and swords and things. I suspect we'll see katanas. I suspect we'll see a variety of melee weapons, including advocacy tools, which stun baton was one of them. I do think that obviously they've got a little bit of a hand-to-hand system, punchy and takedowns, but I do think they will be further expanding hand-to-hand combat and melee weapons. I like the idea of other races having different sort of styles of battle and things like that. Me. You're still playing on 9060. 9060? 960. Great card. Like, genuinely, great card. Proper little powerhouse. I love my favorite card in all of. Actually, I liked the 8800 GTXs. My favorite card, sort of within memorable. My favorite graphics card that I'd still use today potentially is a 1080. I think the 1080 is a masterpiece of engineering. It is a great card. It is still a great card. Will AI be doing stuff again, like walking around next patch? So I think there are going to be a load of AI and behavior updates and improvements in 3.23, but let's wait and see, right? And even if there are they going to work? How many 3.23.x patches might come? So I only think we're going to see up to like 3.23.3 and then 4.0. I think that's the plan. They did want a summer 4.0 release. Okay, so Star Map and Minimap as a combined thing. Probably my most anticipated feature for 3.23 for the persistent universe. But I'm very excited to test engineering in Arena Commander. How do you think they'll make Vulcan work, since Vulcan has been stated to perform worse with games and with a lot of NPCs? It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Anything that they focused and polished on is going to be better than what we've got with DirectX, sort of like DirectX whatever, Direct 3D, blah. They've sort of built into the game. I'm assuming we've got 11 at the moment, maybe. It's hard to know. It feels like Direct 3D 9 sometimes. No. It's, I think with a focus on Vulcan, there's a lot of stuff they can do. And I think it's going to... I don't think they need to go for D3D 12 as well. I think, yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. It's a fair question. I don't know. I do think that it's still going to be significantly better than what we've got now. Has RSI been using AI in development? Not so far to this stage, as far as I'm aware. Some of the artists might have used it for concepts and stuff, but I don't believe they have. And they'll be looking at AI tools. Anything AI assisted that can help them, great. I don't think they're going to use AI driven, like talking or voices and stuff like that. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Do you think we're getting another system this year besides Pyro? I mean, I don't know how much work's gone into Nyx. I know a reasonable amount of work has. Obviously, a lot of work's gone on to the Odin system. So do you think we're going to see Nyx and Odin, because it's a Squadron 42 system, relatively soon after Pyro? How soon after? Could it be this year? I mean, it's possible. We don't have much data on the roadmap at the moment beyond what they've got planned for 3.23 and then 4.0. And even the 4.0 stuff is still pretty vague, right? Right. I'm going to see who else is streaming at the moment. Bear with me 1 second, then we'll wrap up. Twitch. TV. Pardon me. Sorry, I'm a little bit blog still. I'm going to send you over to Super Mac Brother. He is watching the Star Citizen Live. So go and watch that. Enjoy. He's my boy. He's one of my boys. Let us go here and then go /raid. Perfect. Awesome. Genuinely, thank you so much for watching today. It is genuinely appreciated. Michael, thank you so much for that huge donation. That is amazing. And IMFRS, thank you very much as well. People that subscribed, resubscribed, use the join button, all that sort of jazz. Genuinely helps the channel as well. Sharkaticus, Extreme Terror. I can see at a glance you there. Apologies if I've not mentioned anyone else. But thank you very much for anyone that's asked a question. As I said, this sort of is the content for the channel. There's the beautiful Zeus Mark II. Right. Yeah. Looking forward to these tests. You go and watch Star Citizen Live. Say Super Mac Brothers is a beautiful boy. And yeah, thanks very much for watching. You guys take care. Have a great weekend.